All right, everybody, welcome to Handicapable, everybody. I am here with my co-host.
Chris Waldeck, my face isn't weird. This is just autism.
This is just autism. Guys, I couldn't find my tripod in my house, so we're just setting the camera up on top of the monitor right now. So hopefully it looks okay. Let us know in any messages or whatnot if you like it like this better or not. If not, I guess I'll have to find my tripod or buy a new one. This will be the third one I've bought since I've been in Vegas. So, yeah, man. I don't know. It was sitting over here. All right, it was sitting over here. All right, and just one day it just disappeared. I didn't think of it very much because I was just like, oh, okay. Because like we've had a lot of stuff going on in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, like let's see, we had the World Series of Comedy,
We had Skankfest.
and then we had Laugh After Dark. So yeah, it's been busy, and I just now was like, oh, I should try to find this tripod. And this was 10 minutes before we were supposed to start recording the podcast. So, needless to say, it might be at my house somewhere. Someone might have picked it up. But I know it was definitely in my house. I haven't had any parties, so I don't think anyone would have stolen it then. But yeah, I don't know. My tripod is missing right now, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, and it's been a little bit too since we've released an episode due to the fact of all the festivals. You know, like it's hard to schedule this sometimes when he's doing something and then next week I'm doing something and then he's doing something the week after that. And then we're both doing something the week after that. It was like, what, solid 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks back-to-back festivals here in Vegas.
It was pretty ridiculous, man. It was really ridiculous. Like, let's see, you had the World Series of Comedy.
Laugh After Dark.
Yeah, and Skankfest. But World Series of Comedy, let's go over that one first. So that's basically where you could pay money to be a part of a competition that you have to pay for travel and hotel for, right? Am I right? I haven't said any lies yet, right?
Nope, you haven't said any
Okay,
lies.
because you've done it.
Yeah, I've done it before. I've traveled to Minnesota and I've traveled to Plano for the top 40 in both those areas.
And what's crazy too is that like they didn't send you anything close to Vegas. Like,
Yeah, I know.
it's like we want you to pay as much as you can for this competition, and you know what, you might not even win, so you might not even like move forward. You know, that's a very weird thing.
Well, it's a risk for competing, It's basically just like you're taking a chance, That's what it's like. I mean, this is Vegas. You're taking a chance anytime you go to a casino.
No, that is true. That is true. It's just for me personally, I've never applied for it. I've never have. I don't have any problem with anybody that does apply. Just I've seen a lot of shitty comics that were here for World Series of Comedy. It seems like a lot of other people were like, I'd rather apply for festivals and whatnot.
I mean, that technically is a festival, but it's kind of a fest. Yeah, it's the way to describe it is a festival.
Yeah,
it's one of the larger ones out there.
Yeah, and you get people from all over and stuff, but like I think that's one of the things why I personally have never submitted, is just because I was just like, I'll submit for other stuff. I don't feel the need to go travel somewhere and pay for my own hotel just to do a competition that I feel is going to be rigged. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is a little weird how like how it's kind of like not based on really audience reaction. At least the ones I went to, the satellites, it's mainly based on like the judges like scores and stuff, what they thought. They even say at the beginning that kind of the audience scores has little to do with it. But I will say this: they do give good feedback, good constructive feedback. Then when they show you like your notes and stuff, and they say like things you can improve on, and like I did make some of those changes that helped my set quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I will have to give them props for that.
Yeah. And let's see. So, did you do anything with the World Series of Comedy when they came through?
When they came to Vegas, I did the midnight showings. I did the midnight spotlights that they did. Like I wasn't officially in the top 101, which I think is bullshit. But I still did really well in the. I still did really well in the midnight showings. Got a good reaction, and I'm happy about that. Like I'm just happy I performed, got to be on there and like perform well in front of people. So it's like anytime I do that, I'm happy. And it was a pretty big crowd too for a midnight showcase on a Tuesday night.
So does anyone get to be able to do the midnight or no?
I think anyone, if they applied for the festival, they get to be on the midnight. Like I know Adam was supposed to be on the midnight. Like Bruce is helping me remember when he does that. He's helping me remember.
He's helping me remember. I was just like, Bruce, stop it. He got like all oh hey, look, y'all are sitting down on the couch now. You setting stuff up. Let me go over here and hang out. And I'm just like, Bruce, we did this last episode. We don't need a repeat.
I got a Who-Man and a scratching post.
Yeah, man. So basically, if you applied for being a part of the competition, you could come out and be part of the festival.
The midnight spotlight. That's kind of what you have to be a part
so
of.
if what you're telling me is Summer Sinclair could apply and then just lose horribly, and then next thing you know, freaking be like, oh, guess what? I get to perform at this club again.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think that's why I have a problem with the World Series of Comedy. When I say a problem, I mean like it's not like I hate them or anything. I think it's just like one of those things where it's like, because like I feel like they're giving some people to be like, oh hey, you can fucking use this and use it as a credit. I've had friends who have done the World Series of Comedy, never use it as a credit.
Interesting.
But I've also have seen people that are just bad comics use it as a credit like 100% of the time. They're like, oh, I do the World Series of Comedy, and it's just like, great.
I mean, some good comics have come out of it. Like, if you look at the winners, you have you have Trix, you have Landry, you have Ty Rivera, you have Paul Conyers, who is also a very good comic. You've got a lot of comics that have come out and they've been they're really good. They deserve to win that competition. It's like so it's like it's definitely still has its legitimates, especially with the winners. Like I know Mary Upchurch came in third last year, and she's a really funny comic. She's doing a great job in the Vegas scene. Shout out to Mary Upchurch, by the way.
But yeah, I've never seen Mary Upchurch or Trix ever use it as a credit.
I have. When she advertises her flyer for like Arizona, like I think she put World Series of Comedy on her flyer.
I think someone else might have put that on her flyer. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we saw her there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it does help a little,
Yeah, no, it does. And there are good people that come out of it. Just, it's more for me, more of like the organization of it. Where I'm just like, how did you organize this? How did you figure out that like, oh yeah, y'all should be on it, and y'all should go all the way to Missouri to fucking or wherever, Mississippi or wherever you had to go to fucking do the contest. It's like, why didn't you just put them like? Because I've seen them have it like in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas.
Yeah. Plano. I will say, anytime I get a chance to perform in Texas, I love it because, like, I mean, that may be my bias. Like, I've done Tower City, which is another great festival.
Yeah.
I was happy to be a part of. Like, it's
with Daryl Felsberg.
Yeah,
that dude's great.
Yeah, Daryl's awesome. Awesome. But yeah, it was great. We got to go to like the Tower City in Paris, Texas, see the little Eiffel Tower, and basically just like it's a small town, but the people like they look for entertainment and stuff. If they can't make it to the big city, you got a big festival like that comes on through. It's like they're really engaged and they love comedy, So it's like that was like one of the other festivals I did this year, and that was a lot of fun. World Series was pretty fun just because the Plano area is in Dallas, and I was near some of the big barbecue joints around Dallas.
Yeah.
That was a plus.
So yes, Texas does have a city called Paris, Texas. They also have a town that's not that far from it called Italy, Texas. Yeah, it's I feel like people are just like, who lives there? Italians, They're like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. Again, but yeah, so so World Series of Comedy went through. I only caught like one show, and it was with my roommate, and he just
was it one of the midnight shows?
No, they did it on the 6 o'clock show.
Oh, okay. So it was one. So it was one of the competitive shows.
Yeah. I had to tell my roommate to shut up though, because he was heckling a little bit, and I was like, "Shut up! I can't take you nowhere."
Wait, he was fucking heckling?
Just a little bit, not like too bad or anything, but I was just like, "Shut the fuck up! I can't take you nowhere."
Yeah.
And then let's see, freaking Skankfest came in, and that's just party central right there.
Oh yeah, it is.
They just take over the third floor of
Notoriety.
Yeah, where they're on Fremont Street.
Yeah, Neonopolis, the third floor.
Yeah, and people are telling me like, yeah, man, you just go up there. People were just smoking, all this other shit. Everyone's get fucked up.
Yeah.
I know the singer from ICP was out there in the Insane Clown Posse. Because first off, I saw pictures and video of Adam Dominguez freaking hanging out with him, and Adam was telling me, he goes, yeah, man, I wasn't trying to sing with him. He just saw me recording and put his arm around me, and he had a mic, and he just started singing. And I was like, I guess I'm singing with this guy now. So that's pretty awesome. I saw a lot of people posting up a ton of pictures with people. My favorite thing is they put like a ring out there on the first floor.
Yeah.
And
the fights.
Yeah, they have these weird ass fights. Like, there was like one that looked like pool noodles, but they were made into nunchucks.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? It's like a fever dream, but with comedians.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know you did the Naked Rose battle.
Yes, I did. I'm now 2-0 in Naked Rose, so I was victorious.
And he's like, ha, look at my penis. You'll never unsee it. Like. So yeah, of course we had Skankfest, which my favorite thing is when I have other comics being like, "What's Skankfest?" It's like, have you not listened to Legion of Skanks? They're like, "What's that?" And I'm just like, so it's a bunch of male comedians that have a podcast called Legion of Skanks, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, it's a dude's podcast. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's literally just like, hey, we're a bunch of dudes that do comedy. We fuck with each other."
They have some girls on there too, like Kim Congdon and Karen Fian show up.
Yeah, they'll have females still on it, but like the main crew, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
main crew. So it's like Barstool Sports, but without all the rape.
It's Coachella for comedians.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Coachella for comedians. But again, there's a ton of people just getting all kinds of fucked up. There's tons of shows.
I saw like people eating shrooms, people getting high, like, you know, it was insane.
What was it? Two comics that we know, Johnny Brim and Ralph Tatella, they got in, and
they got you mean they volunteered or they showed up?
They snuck in.
Oh,
like fucking ninjas in the darkness.
They didn't hear Ralph going.
Yeah, you know, like no, they didn't have that. So they went and they were telling me about it because they were like, Jake, if you were there, I think we could have gotten even deeper into the festival, you know, like, which I was like, yeah, probably, maybe. So they snuck in and they went to this one area and there's a bunch of bags with like white powder in it. And he was like, they just got coke out in the green room, you know, and it's just like, it was like, no, dude, it was like some sort of like mix for like drinks to make them into like a fruit punch. That's what it was. It was so hilarious because they were like, what is this? They got just coke just laying out here. I was like, bro.
And then they were just like, Smarties, I don't feel any more intelligent.
Yeah. Dude, first off, it's like if there was that much coke just laying out on a table with a bunch of comedians around in Las Vegas, it would be an empty table. It would be like there's no way anyone would be like, oh my God, coke, get that away from me.
Yeah, it would it would be cleaner than a mob plate, you know, than a mob meeting, you know.
So yeah, so Skankfest, always amazing. Oh
yeah, fucking blast! And I got to do a drop-in set at the tank. They called it the tank. It
the
was
tank?
Yeah, it was like sponsored by the Peppermint Hippo. It was like the tank. It's like a movie theater, but they like, you know, you come out, you just stand up in front of like an audience and stuff. It's just like rotating comics, like pass the mic, like back to back. I know Sean Reddy got to hand it off to Mark Normand, who was like next in the line, and
shit.
I almost got to hand it to Tom Rhodes, but there was another comedian I handed it to instead named Reese from Austin. I don't know his last name. I just know his name's Reese from Austin.
Reese from Austin.
That's actually how he wanted me to introduce him. Reese from Austin.
Like, you know how many comics are from Austin now? Like, come on, guys, come on. Like, just give us your fucking name. Just give us your fucking name.
It's also, you do like this. It's free to apply to Skankfest. It's free to apply.
Yeah, I know. I do love that. I just forgot to apply. And that was the thing is like when it comes to festivals, there's like a festival season, and this was pretty much it, you know. And it's like summertime till about October, I want to say, is usually like festival season.
Yep.
Because there's still festivals going on right now. Because I know Irma is going to, I think it was New York, to do a comedy festival.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she showed up for the last day of Skankfest.
Yep.
And then she was here all last week for
Laugh After Dark.
Yeah. Except for she had to leave before Kool-Aid's recording. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sad, I can't go." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm sad because I got another festival to go to." And I was like, "God damn it, Irma, shut the fuck up."
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh my god, I'm successful.
I'm so busy."
She was actually on the same showcase I was at, the Dirty After Dark showcase.
Oh yeah, at the Laugh After Dark. Yeah,
the one that was at Wise Guys. They held it.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like Laugh After Dark was pretty nice. I did like that. I went to a couple of the workshops. I went to a couple of shows. I do think they're gonna have some more work to do for next year.
Yeah, in terms of organization.
Yeah, but nothing like too bad or anything.
Yeah,
like,
nothing really bad.
It was like it took a little bit more time for them to set up all the cameras and stuff at all the shows and stuff. So
yeah, and it was a little inconvenient when like everyone had to sit down while they were recording. You couldn't go to the restroom. You couldn't you had to sit there for a while.
I missed that announcement for the first show at Wise Guys. It was the music showcase.
Yep, hosted by Adam Dominguez.
Yeah. So my buddy Andrew back in Texas, he's a musician, and he knows this guy Ross Childs, and he was on the show, and he was like, "Yeah, go check him out, fucking blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go do that," So I went check out the show. But I brought me a backpack beer. That's like a road beer, but I don't have a car, so I put it in my backpack.
Yeah.
And then I drink it outside of the venue.
Nice.
And what's crazy was, so Chris Spring was working the door.
Oh, awesome.
And he came out and he saw me drinking it. And he was like, eyeballed me. I was like, "Don't worry, I ain't bringing this in. I'm finishing it out here." He goes, "Oh, okay, never mind then." And that's when they were doing the announcements about like, "Hey, don't get up while recording, blah, blah, blah." And so I finished my beer and cigarette, and I go inside, and then they have me sit next to you. Like, they're like, "Hey, can you sit with Chris?
Yeah.
It's just fill in that spot right there." I was like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah, that kind of frustrated me because like when I'm on the spectrum, and I do not like to be in close areas with just a lot of people surrounding me. But they did that to me twice. Like once there and once at another event, which I was like, "Please do not." And then Leo was like, "Please." I'm like. So I moved into an area. They're like, "Oh, you can go right by Carlos." I just went into an area where there was a bunch of empty chairs and just sat like as far away from everyone as possible. I'm like, "Yes, please." When you're on the spectrum, when I say I don't want to sit next to too many people, I mean I don't.
I'm just gonna get an industry pass next time. I'm gonna find something I can do to be considered. Oh, I'm part of the industry section. So because they didn't have to sit down anywhere, they could stand on the sides and stuff, but that was because they were mainly like working and stuff,
Oh yeah, exactly.
If I can, maybe I'll do like, "Oh hey, let me do computer stuff for y'all." That could work.
Yeah, you'd be good at that, honestly.
Yeah.
And their production too.
Yeah, freaking. It was, so we had first day at Laugh After Dark. It was mainly at Wise Guys. They had like what's that place that the Cornish pasty?
Cornish pasty, yes.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to them for having badass pasties. This is a great British restaurant over
Yeah.
in the Arts District.
Dude, it was so weird because everyone was like pastry. Like, so I thought it was pastry for the longest time, and then I'm trying to remember who said pasty. I was like, that's not it. And they're like, "No, look it up on Google." I was in the car with them, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, It is pasty.
Yeah, pastry is like a special type of British food where it's like a pastry with like a sandwich built inside it, basically. So it's
Yeah, there are also some that cover up nipples.
yeah, that is true too. Which I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
which is probably why I got horny as fuck when I googled it.
Ooh. Just all of a sudden, yeah, so we had they had the open mic there. I remember.
Oh yeah, the pass the mic.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
There were a lot of people waiting to go up. I didn't get on it because I was just like, yeah, no. And there were a lot of people be like, it's gonna be till midnight till I go up, man. And like, was it like there's one comic that we both know that was like, I'm just gonna move to Hawaii now, and like I'm tired of this, And I was just like, oh, you're gonna take a vacation? He goes, no, I'm gonna move out there and just do feature spots from now on. And I was just like, all right, man. He's an old dude too, so it's just like, oh, he might be retiring. Like, oh my god, it was just pretty ridiculous. But yeah, so the past mic was all right. Freaking, oh, my favorite thing was Kevin Winnie brought his kid with him.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And so his kid had to wait outside until it was his turn to go up, and he was like, "I'm gonna go PG-13 for my because my kid's here." He said, "Fuck." He said, "God damn it," and he said, "Shit." All in the same joke.
Do you only say fuck once?
No, he said all three of those only once, but it was.
That's PG-13. He did it.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. But his son called him out on it. He was like, "Dad, you dropped the F-bomb." He goes, "What? No, I didn't." And he goes, "Hey, Jake, I didn't drop the F-bomb, did I?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you did." And he was like, "Which joke?" And I was like, "The go-kart one." And he goes, "Oh, I did, didn't I?"
Fuck.
Like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, "Yeah, you did, bro. You did." So that was pretty fucking hilarious. And then let's see. Then you had like the show later with Irma later that night.
Yeah, the Dirty After Dark showcase. It went well, but it was like after 3 showcases, like a lot of the people had kind of left, and I was kind of like, it was like you could tell the crowd was kind of a little bit exhausted for it and stuff. You could tell that they were in like kind of a rush how they got people in and out, but I was like, I still enjoyed it though. It was still great to have a spot, and I'm glad I got my set recorded. I kind of wish that my set had gone a little bit better. I kind of lost them towards the end, but like that's just me being a self-critic of my work. That's just my personal opinion.
And then I know Irma Reese was there. How'd she do?
She went up right before me. She did all right from what I saw. I mean, like she got some laughs, so it's like that's always a good thing. Like I don't like that's just what I saw. I mean, I'm not going to compare her set to mine and stuff because we have like very different material and stuff. But it was like, I know just for my personal thing. I mean, Kool-Aid thought I did good. He told me I get stronger every time he sees me. So like, I'm happy with that. It's like, I think the audience did. Like, Gabe Lopez said I had a good set. So I'm like, all right, if people say I did good, and like then I guess I did good. That's just what I'll say.
Freaking yeah, the second day of Laugh After Dark, I spent all day in bed. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't go to anything.
That was me towards like the last day of Laugh After Dark. I was just like so exhausted. I was like,
well, I had to go to Huntridge Tavern.
Oh yeah, Manic Mondays.
For Manic Mondays, because I just happened to win a tab. And I could only use it then, so I gotta go drink. I'm sorry, guys, I just had to go drink. Like,
yeah, you gotta use that bar tab.
Yeah, because if I don't, someone else is. And that was my prize. Okay, like,
yeah.
So, pretty good. I didn't go to anything on the second day. What about you? Did you go to anything the second day?
Yes. On the second day, I went to the You Look Like Roast Battle where I did a guest spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know what it was, but like there was, I'm not going to say like no one showed up because there were like, just a couple audience members and a lot of comics, but it was like, I felt like they could have promoted that event a lot more. That's just my personal opinion on it. Like I know, but it was fun overall. Like when I went up there, the roasts were a little strange. I know the first roast of the night was the best, the one where Kool-Aid and some chick from Chicago, they had a roast battle. Shout out to Jordan Joe King, I
Oh
believe.
yeah, yeah.
She won the whole thing, so like she ended up being the big winner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like good for her, and stuff like But yeah, it was like definitely it was definitely interesting how some of the roast battles went. It felt like like a lot of them were kind of like because you can only use the words "you look like" before you roast people, so it's like
Yeah.
a lot of it's kind of like it gets kind of interesting how they can do roast battles with like the format specifically. So
Yeah.
it was kind of cool to see how they did it, but it was also like I felt like it was like a little like kind of more tame compared to like some of the other roast battles that the You Look Likes in the
Well,
past.
I
But
also feel
it was
like
good though. It was good, a good show. Spiro and Brian tore it up as hosts, so they did it really good.
I also feel like was it day 2 and 3 they had a lot more workshops.
Yeah.
It started basically the festival started at like 11 a.m. and by the time it got to like where there were shows and stuff, people were already tired because they were just like, man, I've been out and up at 11 a.m. You guys, I understand if you're not a comedian, you're probably thinking 11 a.m. That's not bad. I'm like, bro, I'm a comedian. We're night shift people. And I didn't wake up today until probably about like 1 o'clock, 1:30. Like so asking me to wake up at 11 a.m. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so like I think there's a lot of that going on too. That there are people just being like, "Oh, I'm so just tired,"
Yeah.
Friggin' the third day I went to a workshop that was really good. It was the manager and agents workshop.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh,
How
dude,
was that?
that one was pretty interesting. It was very informative. Just like at the end of it, it was mainly comics trying to figure out how to ask them like, what would make you represent me?
Yeah.
But but they asked him like, hey, don't ask that question.
Yeah.
Just don't ask that question, right? And so what they did was they'd be like, oh, you were talking about people who have multiple talents. Like I do music and comedy. Like, so what?
I heard some of the comics joking about that.
Yeah, they're like, so what would what is it that you look for if it was a comedian that was like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like they're a very roundabout way of just asking like, what would make you represent me? Like oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's funny. Like I know when they had the one thing where there was like the networking event where it was like kind of comic speed dating and stuff.
Oh,
Where it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they had someone go up front and just speak, like just say their qualifications, and then like a bunch of people met and stuff. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best networker. I was just tired out, so I didn't really get to meet anyone or talk to like a lot of people, except for people that kind of sat near me and talked to me, like and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like that's just not me. Like I'm like but when I went up there. I think I actually I did pretty well. I basically just said I'm Chris Waldeck. I live here in Las Vegas. I've been doing comedy for 5 to 6 years. Fun fact: I'm undefeated in naked roast battles, and I just walked off. I just walked off right after.
Everyone's like, man, he must have a huge dick. Oh, big dick, Waldeck.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I went to the managers and agents workshop. I really liked that. It was a lot of good information. It was stuff that I really needed to check out and stuff.
Yeah, I agree that the workshops were phenomenal.
Yeah,
like they really were.
out of everything from that festival, the best thing of it was the workshops.
For sure.
Then let's see, what else did I do on Wednesday? Because I did that. Went to the workshop. Then they had they were doing the open mic at Wise Guys. They had a couple of shows there at the Cornish Pasty. And then eventually I went to Nerd Bar to just hit up the open mic because I was like, I'm not gonna make it onto the Wise Guys open mic.
Oh yeah, I stayed at the Cornish one just to see the up and coming showcase because my roast battle opponent, Katie Blunt, she was one of the up and coming comics.
Yeah.
She crushed her set. She did really well. Like I knew it was like the same set I had seen when I was doing my roast battle research on her and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but she did really well, got a good reaction from the crowd, and like, shout out to Katie Blunt as well for being a worthy roast battle opponent. Like, too. And it was cool that her son got to see it too.
Nice.
Like who's also on the spectrum too, so it was kind of cool. Like we got like a picture of all three of us. She was like me and my boys. It was like coming full circle basically. Like except I hope that I hope I'm not what that kid becomes in years.
Just don't become like me, kid.
Don't become like me, kid. Don't learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes.
Oh
It's
man.
like,
And then let's see. Yeah, man. Then after all that was said and done, again, let's see. The last day was pretty much the mixer,
yeah.
and then
Kool-Aid special,
the Kool-Aid special,
and then the award ceremony.
the award ceremony, and then they had the after party, which was pretty much just the mixer all over again.
Yeah.
You know, but after Kool-Aid's special recording, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. Eventually I left the after party like a little earlier than most people. Because I was just like, yeah, man, my bride's about to leave, and you know, we're just kind of staying around, and the drinks are expensive at Starbase.
Yeah, they are. I got a couple, and then I was just like, you know what, I can't do any more. I'm just gonna go to a happy hour.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I mean, Starbase is a cool venue though.
Oh
You
yeah,
get-
it's awesome.
Some great Instagram pictures from like the rooms and shit. It's really cool, but man, God, are those drinks
Yeah.
expensive? Like,
Me and my roommate, we bought was it like the big cans, like one of these kind of big cans of High Noon.
$7.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit blew my mind when I bought the High Noons, because they don't have like the regular pop tops like this. All right, guys, they have like this plastic piece that's here, and you gotta like pop it here a little bit, and then it slides, but you can reseal it. So that was pretty like nifty. But like me and my roommate were driving to the venue, and we stopped like right by the gas station, right by the venue, and he was just like, "Bro, I can't figure out the pop top, and I'm driving. Can you just figure that out?" So and I was like, "All right, no problem." So I had to figure it out and then do it for him.
Oh wow.
And then but when I got there, I realized I could reseal it.
Yeah.
And I just put it back in my bag and walked inside with it. And we were sitting there for the fucking the recording. Shit, nobody was. The security's outside by the door.
Yeah.
So I would just, and the thing was, it would do that all over again after I resealed it.
Yeah.
And people looked at me because I didn't know that's what it was going to do. I didn't know it was going to make like that big noise when I did it. And everyone just looked at me. I was just like, it was like I was sitting with a lot of the local comics, and I was just like, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. You know, like, don't ruin this for me. So, oh, man. But yeah, Kool-Aid's taping was phenomenal.
As expected.
Yeah, I mean, me and Kool-Aid, we used to be roommates back in Texas. We knew a lot of the same people. He made a lot of good shout outs to people in San Antonio in his jokes without even saying like, oh, this guy's in San Antonio, blah, blah. I was telling some other comedians after the special that they were like, oh no, Steve's PC Repair, that's an actual place in San Antonio. His buddy owns it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, we're in the inside baseball. I'm like, yep, yes, y'all are right now. He talked about when you want to, like his buddy Alfie told him, like, oh, if you want to get freaky with a girl, you got to just eat sugar-free pop rocks out of her asshole. He was like, ugh, sugar-free candy is gross. Alfie was a buddy of ours who passed away, a real good friend of ours. He was a bartender, was like #1 bartender in San Antonio, like voted #1 bartender in San Antonio, like by San Antonio Magazine and shit, and the San Antonio Current. And like he ended up where his liver was failing, and so he stopped bartending. He cleaned up his act, stopped drinking, and then that hurricane came by and hit Galveston. And he went down there to do flooring for houses that had water damage and shit.
Yeah.
And I guess a wolf spider bit him.
Damn.
They're not very venomous, but it was enough to send his body into shock and cause his liver to 100% fail.
Damn.
Yeah. So he passed away from that. And so, you know, and he meant a lot to a lot of us.
Rest in peace, Alfie.
Yeah, buddy. But yeah, no, he did a lot with Kool-Aid and stuff. He used to live with Kool-Aid way back in the day. It was him, this other dude, Ryan Murphy, and Murph, and Kool-Aid, and one other there was like another comic. Oh, Joshua Pullen. They all lived together in like this house, and fucking like the worst mushroom trip I ever had was in that house. Alfie wasn't living there anymore. Neither was Murph, because Murph got married and shit. So it was me, this guy Derek, Joshua Pullen, and Kool-Aid were all living in the house. And Kool-Aid was like, "Hey, tomorrow is I forget was it the where you have like the big bulky items and stuff,
Yeah.
but for trash, pickup." And he was like, "So if y'all could get some of this stuff out that needs to be thrown out there," he goes, I'll bring some shrooms home and we'll just have a whole house tripping and shit." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So we fucking do that. It fucking Alex comes up, shows a big bag of mushrooms. And we're just like, "Oh, hell yeah,"
Yeah.
And me and Kool-Aid, we're experienced mushroom trippers. So we were getting like 2 grams each. And then everyone else is getting like a gram or half a gram. And I put mine on a slice of bread with peanut butter on it, and I fold it in half. So it's like a bread taco with peanut butter with mushrooms in it.
Nice. I just eat the mushrooms straight, to be honest with you.
And well, these were looking juicy. That's why I did that.
Oh, nice.
Like I bit into it, and there was one that like squirted out in my mouth a little bit, like it was a blueberry. And it was purple too. It was like a purple little blue. It was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good. So, but Kool-Aid lays out the ground rules, right? He's just like, don't be calling anybody. Don't invite anybody over. Like, don't be doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
And we're just in the midst of a great trip. And Derek starts ordering pizza.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He hits up Alfie as well, tells him, like, "Hey, I'm tripping for the first time." So Alfie's just like, "Oh, shit." So I'm sitting there with my back to the back door, which is a sliding glass window fucking thing, door or whatnot. And friggin' Alfie shows up and he just opens it, and like it makes a big boom when he opens it. He goes, "Hey, you guys!" And I fucking jump out of my chair. I hit the ground and I start low crawling like I'm in the fucking military again. Yeah. And then I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like it switched my trip from like this amazing trip to like the worst thing ever. And then like I'm like, I just gotta go outside, get some fresh air. So I go outside and my fucking brain resets. I don't know if you ever had that happen when you're on shrooms.
Oh, I have.
Yeah. So, but I was standing when I was doing that. So I face planted into the rose bush and busted my knee.
Post-traumatic shroom disorder.
Yeah, right. Which just makes it even worse because now I'm wounded. Because I have a busted knee, and that wound is moving. And it just was horrible. Like, Kool-Aid was just like, "I had to babysit you because you were just having the worst trip." I was like, "I know." I was like, Derek had the trip that I wanted because he called pizza and invited Alfie over. Like, I'm over there like, "Oh, it's moving." And Derek's outside in the backyard with his cat just being like, "This is amazing. Look at all the clouds and the trees and the grass."
And John Carpenter's like, finally a real remake of The Thing.
Dude, I was just like, "What the fuck, you evil sadistic son of a bitch. You took the trip that I wanted, you dick." So yeah. So Alfie did ruin my trip one time, but he's a great guy. Great guy. I miss him very much. So yeah, Kool-Aid did a bunch of like shout outs to people from San Antonio.
And then of course, his whole roommates, Adam was there, Bree showed up, and
yeah, they were all there. Me, Kool-Aid, and Adam took pictures as the Texas boys.
I saw that picture on Instagram.
Yeah, man. So I was just like, hell yeah. What was it? Oh no, my favorite lines was like, so Jibs Salad. He's also from Texas, but he's from El Paso.
Oh, nice.
And he was doing all the pictures and shit of the good camera. And Kool-Aid, he always has a handkerchief of him to wipe all the sweat off because he's a big fat dude with who sweats a lot. And this handkerchief was a Texas flag.
Oh, nice.
And there's, it's red, white, and blue. And in the white section of the flag, there's like these yellow stains from Kool-Aid sweat.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Kool-Aid busts it out and is like showing it in front of him. And Jibs is like, what the fuck is that? Is that mustard stains? And me and Adam started laughing, and we're like, no, those are sweat stains. And Adam goes, yeah, he sweats mustard, and he bleeds rich. And I was just like, oh, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah, that's really good. So, but yeah, I can't remember what he was naming his special. I felt like he should have called it heavyweight because he started off his set talking about like, I fight all these things. This is what I'm fighting right now.
You should just call it Fat Rife. That's what you should call it special.
It was like something's uncle or some's brother or some shit like that.
Or Raw.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what he was naming it, but I'm sure
Mr. Monday Night.
I'm pretty sure he'll correct me next time I see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just a fun show to watch. He got very emotional at the end and stuff, and fucking, it was getting to me and Adam. Me and Adam were like, "Oh, this motherfucker, he's crying on stage, just making us want to cry." And Adam just like, "It's so gay."
Yep, that sounds like Adam. That sounds a lot like Adam.
Oh my god, it was so hilarious, man. But yeah, so then after that was the after party. People wanted to take pictures and meet with Kool-Aid and stuff and be like, oh, hey, blah, blah. And I could see it. So a couple of people would side-eye me because I would like interrupt them to just like tell Kool-Aid something real quick.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I'll let them.
Yeah. At the same time, I was like, I don't care that you're side-eyeing me. Like, because nobody really met me because I was kind of just like, oh, I'm just here to watch. See how everything's going. Because I didn't volunteer. I wasn't part of the festival, like, or anything. I just had a pass for the festival. So
good old guest pass.
Yeah. And my favorite thing was people didn't know I was a comic most of the time. Like, that's what I loved. It wasn't until, like, one of the regular comics were like, oh, no, this is Jake. He also does comedy. And they're like, so what shows are you on? I'm like, none. I'm just here to watch. And I guess a bunch of people were like, oh, he must be a nobody. And it's like, no, I'm just didn't submit. I got high and forgot.
Yeah.
I know everybody who's here who's from Las Vegas. So,
yeah.
I
was surprised at first. I knew that at the very beginning because, like, I unfortunately had to leave because I'm a loser and I had homework. So, like, I had to leave a little early, but that's probably the most autistic excuse I can make, But it was like,
I got homework to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that a lot of at first I was like worried because like I didn't see a lot of the local Las Vegas people there for the special support. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. But luckily a lot of people turned out towards the end, right before the special.
They all waited to show up for the special. Because I saw a lot of people come in like after. It was me, Antonio, and Antonio's girl all showed up at the same time. And then when I went in, there was like, I saw 3 local comics that were there right then. But then by the time they were getting ready to have everyone sit down and stuff, it was pretty much the middle section of the audience was all local comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You had Stoner Rob was there. Jamal Coleman was there. Gabe Quire was there. Sam Lundstedt was there. Just like there were a ton of some people. Freaking even Mark S. Johnson showed up. A little late, but that's Mark.
He made it there.
He made it. And then, but yeah, I think if anything, they just need to work on their organization of it. But this is only their second year doing it,
Yeah,
and
so they'll improve.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is their second year where they're doing it, and they're doing it in multiple locations this year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they did it in multiple locations. So it became a little bit harder to be like, oh, okay, we got to go over here. You got to get this ready. You got to do that. Someone might forget something and they're like, oh, fuck, we got to send someone over there to go pick it up. And with all the fucking traffic and shit that's been going on, it's so fucking horrible to just get around town. Like, was it one person was like, oh, I got to go all the way to Henderson to go pick something up from my house and then come all the way back. And then they came back. We were like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." And they're like, and we were like, "Why?" And they were like,
"I know Kay Banks who volunteered. She had to drive someone to the airport and from the airport."
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Was so like they were like, "It's telling me on traffic that it's going to be like 35 minutes just to get to Henderson," and I was like, "Oh yeah, traffic right now is horrible."
Yeah.
Like, so they did that, and yeah, it was just. It was one of those things where it was just like getting anywhere was already a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Because you have the Formula One thing, which we've talked about several times.
Yeah.
So I don't need to bring it back up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But hey, they are offering discounts for locals. It's only $200 for one day at the Spear location, which is the most backwards location at the end of the race, and then the rest for the good seats, it's $500 per day.
Yeah. What is it, like 2,000 for good seats if you're not a local?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So you see why I make this face audience?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me get right on that.
Supposed to bring in more money than the Super Bowl. That's all they'll say.
Yep. So other than that, let's see. I'm trying to think. I think we're just doing all festival talk today.
Yeah, pretty much all festivals.
Yeah, because I haven't looked at any sports games and stuff. I didn't even mess with my lineup on my fantasy football team at all because I've been doing all those. I did, however, finally get Tua, the Miami Dolphins quarterback.
You finally got him?
Finally got him, but I just got him today, so I couldn't have him playing this week because the game started yesterday.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, so
did they win?
No, not the Dolphins game hasn't started, but I'm saying like this week's game started yesterday, so I can't I can't adjust my lineup now. I can't adjust my lineup, so that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck.
Damn.
But I'll be dominating the rest of the time now that I got Tua and Tariq Hill. Like that's a power combo right there.
Oh yeah. For sure.
As long as I don't have a bye week where they're both on a bye week, then that's then we're good.
Yeah.
And then let's see, freaking shows. I haven't really been watching anything. That's again festivals. That's literally audience. That's literally why we're just like doing all festival talks. We're 47 minutes in. We're usually wrapping the podcast up by now.
Yeah.
And being like,
Actually,
right.
we usually wrap it up like 10 minutes earlier. Honestly.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, this has just been. It's just super busy here in Vegas.
I guess I do have one pick. FSU Seminoles will beat Virginia Tech this weekend. I have a feeling it's one of their rivalry games, sort of. But I think FSU is going to beat them just because FSU is undefeated, and I don't see them dropping the ball. So I'll bet on FSU to beat Virginia Tech,
unless they fumble it.
Oh, you with the fucking puns, motherfucker.
That's
Don't
right.
mess with my Knowles, man. That's the one good thing I got was a football team to cheer from college.
Yeah. You got any upcoming shows?
Do I got any upcoming shows? You might catch me at Las Vegas Live next week, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be doing I'll probably be doing a show or something like next week.
Yeah.
And I know honestly, that's probably about it. I know there's a roast battle coming up at Wise Guys. Are you on that roast battle?
No, I had no challengers this last month. But I did do a roast at was it Rick's Roll and Smoke on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I beat the fuck out of Antonio again and some dude named Rock. I don't know. I can't remember the jokes I said to him. But it was pretty much just like, blah, blah, blah. I was just being a bully. You know, my normal self. That's what it was.
So you made him look like a croc?
Yeah. I told him he only sells rocks. Again, then let's see. Yeah, so I'm not doing the roast. I am headlining, however, the October 20th at Blue Mule Saloon. So, woo! Yeah, I got Sam Lundstedt, Gizmo, and Naomi Starr that are on that show with me.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's a good lineup, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see, Gizmo, he's beaten me in a roast before. Barely. Me and him have talked about it. We've talked about it where it was just, he was like, bro, if you would have landed that last joke and you not like mess up, you know, like, cause what is it? I had cotton mouth and my tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. And it made me like, yeah, when I was trying to say one of the words.
Cotton mouth is a southern thing.
Oh, man. I was just like, oh, my God, why'd that happen to me? Because if I would have landed it, it would have just been like, this belt is mine, you know? Like, but it is what it is. So October 20th, I'm doing that. Then, dude, November 12th, I was going to go to Arizona, but fucking, and what is it? Like an hour later, I was told I wasn't going. Because of like a miscommunications with the booker or some shit. I don't know. Like I was talking to Kevin Winnie about it because he was the one who was like, "Oh, they asked me to bring somebody to host," and he was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he goes, "Sweet." And then like, the dude was asking for a headshot and whatnot, but like I never got the information to send him anything. Kevin was just like, oh, "Okay, I'll send him that." You know, here in a bit. And then like an hour later, the guy was like, hey, so I booked this person to host. And he was like, whoa, I was going to get this. It was like, well, I didn't hear anything from him. And it was just like, he told you he was going to bring somebody and he would send it. He didn't know he was on a timeline or a deadline to send it right then and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, well, that sucks. But it is what it is. It happens, you know?
That's comedy for you.
Yeah, that's just comedy. So I was like, all right, that's it for that. So October 20th, I'm doing that show. November, I'm still working on dates there. I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of guest spots here and there throughout the rest of this month too. But I also have family that's coming in.
Nice.
So I got to spend time with my sister and her brother-in-law, or my brother-in-law. Again, they're coming in for something I can't remember, but I'm going to take them to Jimmy Kimmel's.
Oh, nice. That's a good place to go.
Yeah, well, they were like, where's there somewhere to go that's not gambling? And I was like, I know these places, you know. So they want me to take them to one of the comedy shows. So, yeah. But, yeah, so that's what I got. But, yeah, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. My name is Jake Yarbrough.
I'm Chris Waldeck.
And you've been watching Handicapable, everybody. Woo!